Ice Spice is taking over the subways. The Bronx native hip-hop star is the latest celebrity to be featured on a MetroCard, like those seen here. It comes ahead of the release of her debut album, Y2K. The commemorative card will be available at 4 subway stations: the Fordham Road stop along the 4 train, the Fordham Road station of the B and D lines, and at 34th Street Penn Station at the C, AC, and E stops, as well as Times Square. That's the 4th. Distribution starts at midnight. And Audrey Puente is here with our final look at the forecast.
Well, it looks like it'll be quiet tonight, Arthur. A little chilly in some of these area suburbs, especially up to the north, where we'll drop down into the low 40s to upper 30s. We'll have a mix of partly to mostly clear conditions. And then tomorrow, it'll be a mix of sun and clouds, and temperatures will be much milder and more seasonable for this time of year. We're going for highs for 60s in the city, 70s inland. We'll be in 75 on Tuesday, and it'll be staying seasonable right through next week.
Nice just to get to average, right? Thanks so much, Audrey. And that's all we've got for the news. You're all caught up for the week. If you've missed any part of the 10 o'clock news, you can always catch an encore on our free streaming app, Fox Local. Just search Fox Local on your preferred streaming platform. Have a fantastic week and stay with us. Sports Extra with Tina Cervasio starts right now.
Coming up on Sports Extra, the Knicks dropped Game 4 on the road to the Pacers in a game where the Knicks looked like they never had a shot from the tip. In their second game without OG Anunoby and already shorthanded, Jalen Brunson could not turn on his magic in this one. Tonight, we'll be joined by MSG Knicks studio analyst Alan Hahn. We'll get Alan's inside analysis and the latest timeline on both OG and if the Knicks can still fight back in this series. Now, the Rangers will also be looking to fight back from their first loss of the postseason last night. You'll hear from the Rangers coming off Game 4 as the series shifts back to Madison Square Garden tomorrow night, where with a win over the Hurricanes, the Rangers can advance to the Eastern Conference Finals. And on Mother's Day each year here on Sports Extra, we like to bring you interviews with players' moms or athletes talking about their mothers. Well, tonight we bring you one of New York's very top athletes who is a mother. Gotham FC star Crystal Dunn joins me for a very emotional interview on motherhood as she talks about her son Marcel and balancing being a professional athlete and a loving mother. This will be an inspiring story for any type of a mother figure, and we could use some inspo after those Rangers and Knicks games the last 2 days, so let's get Sports Extra started right now.
Welcome to Sports Extra, presented by Toyota.
Good evening. Hope you're having a great weekend, and we are so glad you are spending your Sunday night here with us. This is Sports Extra presented by Toyota. I'm Tina Cervasio. And happy Mother's Day to all the moms on this show. We also include fur moms and super aunties. So that goes for Jennifer and I. But with that, the Knicks were missing some of their superpowers that guard Jalen Brunson has been known to summon in situations where the Knicks are down and find a way to fight back. But it was a whole different situation today in Indiana as the Knicks faced the Pacers in Game 4 of their Eastern Conference semifinal. With the Knicks heading into this game today, they were up 2-1 in the 7-game series, but the orange and blue, they were already shorthanded. And today, OG Anunoby, he missed his second straight game with a hamstring injury. And that might have made all the difference. Now, Jalen Brunson struggled for the second game in a row. Here he turns the ball over to T.J. McConnell. McConnell then feeds Tyrese Halliburton for the slam. Halliburton finished with 20 points. McConnell added 15, getting around Brunson there for the layup, and then the two had words a little bit later on. The Knicks were down 28 points at the half. In the third quarter, Brunson with the miss, and then the Pacers go the other way with Halliburton getting the three-pointer. Indiana takes an 80-45 lead there. The Pacers had 22 fast break points to the Knicks 5. Josh Hart, he gets a rare rest. He sat out most of the second half. All of the starters were out once the fourth quarter began, as the Pacers just go on to pound the Knicks 121-89 to even the series at 2 games apiece. And now Game 5 will be this Tuesday night back at the Garden.
We can talk about fresher legs. You can give us all the pity that we want. Yeah, we're shorthanded, but that doesn't matter right now. We have what we have, and we need to go forward with that. So there is no, we're shorthanded. There is no excuse.
We can't have a hangover. We got to fix it, and we have to come with a will and determination to respond to what happened. And I think that's the biggest thing. And this team has responded all year, so that's what we're expecting to do.
And joining us now as he's making his way home from MSG Network after being on the Knicks postgame show, we have Knicks studio analyst Alan Hahn. Alan, thank you so much for joining me. Is this like a fancy car service that you're in?
I mean, technically, it's like a car service when you have an NBA All-Star driving you back to Long Island. Wally Zerbiak. This is how we commute from Long Island, the two of us, and it's his turn to drive.
So we have half of the MSG Knicks postgame show joining us, but I know Wally can't hear me because he's driving, and we'll let him keep you guys safe. And Alan, let's talk about these Knicks losing to the Pacers tonight. So, Alan, what was your biggest concern about the way that the Knicks played?
The concern was really the way the game started. It's something that Josh Hart talked about even after the game. It was their lack of energy. And that's something that when you describe the Knicks this season, there's a lot of different ways you can describe them. But one of them is a team that generally will outwork you and out-hustle you, outplay you. And that's not something that you saw in this game this afternoon. This was something that the Pacers did all of those things and then the more. And Hart is usually in the middle of all of that. He's the catalyst a lot of times. He's the energizer for the Knicks, and he said it himself. I didn't bring it today. I didn't have it today, and that's got to change, and that's something that I don't expect is going to continue.
Alan, as Josh Hart said that and said, I take this game 4 loss on my shoulders, is he tired from all of the minutes that he's played? Is this having an impact as they get such little rest between games and previously played so many minutes?
Well, they'll never tell you if that's the case. You can ask them, and they'll never admit it. It's something that even Jalen Brunson was saying, how, like, I'm fine. Mm-hmm. They don't want to use any excuses. They don't want to go to that and talk about being tired. It is something, though, that you have to think about when you consider the minutes that a lot of these core pieces are playing. And let's also not forget, this is a Knicks team that's playing without now 4 players that were supposed to be in their rotation. They're all injured right now, and OG Anunoby being the most recent one and probably the most important one as well.
You talk about OG Anunoby. We watched the post-game show. Updates are he hasn't been back on the court yet. We know he's going through all this rehab on the hamstring. So say they have to play without him for Game 5. How can the Knicks just do a better job at defending that fast pace in which Indiana really put on display today?
Well, I mean, I really do believe it because Game 3 showed you this Knicks team can run with the Pacers. So they've proven in this series that the pace isn't going to be the major issue. It's the energy part of it that was missing today. It was a quick turnaround from Friday night to Saturday afternoon at 3:30 start that benefits the home team and a younger team. It did not benefit the Knicks on this day. But they've only got one day now to get right, but they'll be back at Madison Square Garden where they've played so well all season.
All right, so I won't ask the question, is Brunson playing too many minutes? Because we even saw him on the floor in the third quarter when the Knicks were down by practically 40. But he was shut down basically the last 2 games. Is it the defense that the Pacers are bringing, or is he banged up still a little bit with that foot situation?
Oh, I think it's a little of both. I do think you have to give credit where credit's due. And Aaron Nesmith, who's 6'5", he's 215 pounds. He's just got the size and strength factor that you need against a guy like Brunson. And he has been definitely frustrating him. He's taken away a lot of space. They're letting them play physical in this year's NBA playoffs. You're seeing it in all the different playoff rounds, so that's happening as well. But I do think it's two factors. It's that and that foot. He's not going to admit it. He's not going to want to talk about it. But it's hard not to think that the sore foot that has bothered him, that has impacted him, is affecting him. In these 2 past games, he has been short on a lot of his shots. When you take away the legs, you take away the shot.
And just quickly, Alan, we have a couple seconds to wrap it up. Tyrese Halliburton said, now that this series is 2-2, all the pressure's on the Knicks as they go back to the Garden. Is there pressure on the Knicks in this Game 5? What's your take?
Oh, absolutely. You've just lost 2 in a row. The pressure is you want to win that game because if you lose that, now you go back on the road in a building where you haven't won this season. They played 1 game there in the regular season. They didn't win that game either. So there is a lot of pressure, but I would also argue that I think it's equal pressure at this point. It is now a best of 3. First team to 2 wins. Both teams are going to feel that.
And we might have just lost Alan, but we got you back. Alan, thank you so much. And thank you to Wally for keeping you safe during this drive home. You can watch Alan, Wally, as well as Bill Pito after every Knicks postseason game on MSG Networks with their 1-hour Knicks postgame show. I'll talk to you guys, and I'll see you at the Garden this week, Alan. Thank you so much for joining us.
You got it, Tina. Good to talk to you.